Hey, what's up? My name is Ange. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Vlogmas Day 3, and today we will be going over all of the books that I read in November and all of the books that I want to read in December. November was kind of a slow reading month for me because I was on vacation and just a lot of things were happening, so I didn't read that many books in November as compared to what I've been normally reading. So in November, I read I read 5 books. So I started off with Some Kind of Perfect by Krista McRitchie. This was the epilogue novel to the Addicted series and the Calloway Sisters series. This is kind of just a really big wrap up of however many years in the future. This book was amazing. I actually didn't read the physical book, but I do have it. I read it on my Kindle when I was on vacation, so whenever I was getting a chance to read it, that's what I was doing. I read it the entire time on the plane, both ways, and it was just so amazing. I rated this book 5 stars. The characters in this book and this entire series, I was just obsessed with them throughout the entire time that I was reading it, and being able to see their children and what their lives were so many years in the future, it was just amazing. There is not enough words in the world to explain how much I love this series and how much I love these books, that I know that I'll go back and reread them just so that I can visit their world once again. I just love these characters so much. I wish that I could read it for the first time and have that. Reading Addicted to You, back in I think it was March or April, was so insane because I was like, oh my god, this is a really long series and I didn't think that I was going to be able to get through it. But here I am, however many months later, and I absolutely loved every second of it. I do have to read the Bad Reputation duet, which is technically not a part of it, but it is. So I'll get to that eventually, but I have concluded the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series with the epilogue novel, and I loved every single second of it. This might be a slightly different angle because my card had to be formatted, so let's just continue on. Next, in the month of November, I read Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This was book 1 in the trilogy of Caraval, Legendary, and Finale, I'm pretty sure are those books. This was my November book club read with my friends. I'm not going to get too far into my thoughts on this one, but I will tell you what I rated it and just a short little version. I rated this one 5 stars. This was one of the best books that I have read in so long. This one follows Scarlett Dragna and her sister Tella Dragna. Scarlett's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlett thinks her dreams of seeing Caraval, the Fairway, once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show are over, and she's never going to be able to, so she's writing all these letters to Legend, and finally he answers, and then they get invited over to Caraval, and they basically just go there, and then the game starts. I'm gonna just leave it at that, but that was the shortened version of it. You'll get my thoughts, my friends' thoughts, and I'm sure that this is gonna be one that we talk about for a little bit because this book was insane, and there was just so much to speak about with this one. I absolutely loved this book. Next, I read Game Changer by Abby Glines. This is another book in the Field Party series. This is book number 6. This one followed Esmita and Asa Griffith. I all around thought this book was a 3 for me. Now, I really enjoyed it, but I didn't really like the ending. I felt like it just ended so abruptly and was just over. Esmita has always had really big plans for her future, ones that would take her far outside of law and city limits. She has overprotective parents because her older sibling had passed away, so they're very, very you're gonna stay here, you're gonna work in the shop, blah blah, all that. So there's nothing that Asa Griffith wants more than to leave Lawton. It's his senior year, he's going to college, he's gonna go to Ole Miss in the fall, but he's very worried about what's going to happen if he leaves his mother with his abusive father. So one night he gets in a fight, and then he's forced out of the house with nowhere to go, and he meets Esmita, I think on the side of the road because of something, and that you will see when you read it, and I don't want to spoil it. And after that, he's shipped off and he lives with his grandmother for a while, and when he comes back, Esmita is with somebody, so it's kind of just it goes from there on if they're going to be together, and I think that it ended kind of abruptly. I wish that there was a little bit more, but I did see in the back of this book that we got a little bit of a sneak peek at the final book in the series, and it started off with Asa's point of view. So I think we're gonna wrap up. I think concluded with Asa and Esmita, and I think that kind of bothered me because I wanted to see a conclusion with them. But it was 3 stars. I did like it. I thought it was cute. I thought it was good. I liked them together. So that was that. Next, I read Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I did read this one on my Kindle, so I did not have the physical book, but it's popped up right here. So Sawyer is a fugitive from the U.S. for reasons that you will find out in the book, and she is doing things with men, and then she steals their identity. She ends up in Australia eventually, and you will find out why she's a fugitive and wanted in the U.S. once you read it, but I don't want to spoil it for you because you really kind of don't find out until I think nearly the end, at least 3/4 of the way through. So you can read it for yourself and find it out. She's on the run for it's like 6 years, and then she does things with men, and then she steals their identity, and that's how she gets money and continues on her way. So she runs into Enzo, and Enzo is he like a shark, not really like trainer, but researcher kind of thing, and she steals his identity. He finds her on the beach one day, he takes her out on his boat, and then this big storm happens, and they end up stranded on an island with this really creepy dude, and it kind of just goes from there. So I rated this book 4 stars. I was really bored up until like 20% of the way through. I was like, okay, I'm really over it. Can we get some action on in here? And then once things started to pick up on the island, it was really hard for me to put it down. My friend read this book and I was like, this is so boring. How did you read this? But then again, once it started to pick up on the island, I was having a great time and I could not put it down because I just wanted to know what was happening. Today is just not my day because I just had to move this again because then my camera battery died. I ended up really loving it after that initial 20% where I was just bored and wanted to just DNF it, which I don't really often DNF books, so that would have been kind of a shock, but it was, again, at the beginning for me. It really did me in. You read the book and you know what happened to Sawyer, why she's a fugitive, you'll kind of understand, but in basic trying to be secretive terms, although Sawyer didn't get the justice that she deserved, I am happy for what she did get, and that made me feel better. But all around, this was a 4-star read for me, and I really did enjoy it after that initial 20%. I read Endurance of Wildflowers by Michaela Smeltzer. This was the novella, so 2.5. First book was The Confidence of Wildflowers, and the second book was The Resurrection of Wildflowers. This one was just kind of like a novella after the second book. There wasn't much to it. If you want my honest opinion, I did not like it. I thought it was just kind of not needed. I know that a lot of people were really wanting more after that second book and just a continuation of their story, but I didn't think that this book was anything special or needed. I rated it 2 stars. I didn't really like it. I read it because I read those other 2 books and it was a quick little fast novella. I read it in not even a few hours, so I did rate it 2 stars. There was one thing that I really liked about it, and spoiler alert for something in there, because I really have nothing else to say about it. The only good thing that I really liked about it, after they had the baby, she said, yes, my big brother told me that I was going to have a little brother. So that concludes all of the books that I read in November. It wasn't too many, but it was a very busy and stressful kind of month, so I didn't really get to too many books, but I'm hoping that I can read a little bit more in December, even though I am doing Vlogmas, obviously, and I have a lot going on with it being the holidays and everything, so I know that I'm going to hit my goal of 75 books because I'm at 72 right now. I'll be able to read 3 books during the month, but I don't think I'll be anywhere near the 99 I think that I read last month, which is, it's okay. It happens, you know. So for December, I only have 4 books that I definitely want to get to. I have 2 physical books here, and then the other 2 are on Kindle, one that I am reading currently and one that I want to read with my book club. So if we are going to start off with the book that I am reading currently, that I did start reading in November, but I just didn't get to, was Caught Up by Liz Tonford. This is book number 3 in the Windy City series. So I am about 80% of the way through this, so I should be able to get done within this week or so. So this one is about Kai. He's a single dad and a starting pitcher for Chicago MLB's team. He's stretched too thin, but he doesn't want help raising his son. He's firing every single nanny that he has. So his coach is putting his foot down and hiring someone that he just cannot fire, which is his daughter. His daughter is Miller Montgomery, and she's the last woman that he should ever fall for. She's too wild, too young, and too unattached. Chicago is just a quick stop for her, and he thought that counting down the days until she left, but summer feels too short when I start thinking about forever. Miller is a high-end pastry chef who recently won the most prestigious award in her industry. She's desperate to prove that she deserves it, but with a new title comes new pressure, and she cannot create a fresh and inspiring dessert to save her life. And with only 2 months to get back on track, she should be focusing in the kitchen, but she gets very, very, very distracted with Kai and his son Max. So I am absolutely loving this one. I am, like I said, 80% of the way through. It's so good. I really, really, really like the Windy City series. So when I saw that this one came out, and I honestly didn't even realize it came out. When did it come out? It came out on October 10th. So it's not too old. And I was like, I have to read it. So I got it on the Kindle because it was Kindle Unlimited. And then I have the book in my Amazon wishlist cart. So I will get the physical book because I have a problem with that. If I read it on the Kindle, I need to have the physical book on my shelf. So that is the first book that I want to read in December, but am already starting to read, as today is December 3rd. Another book that I want to read in December is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison, I think is how you say it. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. This is my December book club read with my friends. This one is about two best friends fake date to reach the holiday happily ever after in this first romantic comedy in the Love Light series. Oh yeah, there are a couple of these. Oh, that's cute. I like that. A pasture of dead trees, a hostile takeover of the Santa barn by a family of raccoons, and shipments that have mysteriously gone missing. Lovely Farms is not the magical wonderland of Stella Bloom's dreams. In an effort to save the Christmas tree farm she's loved since she was a kid, Stella enters a contest with Instagram famous influencer Evelyn St. James. With the added publicity and the $100,000 cash prize, Stella just might be able to save the farm from its financial woes. There's just one problem. To make the farm seem like a romantic destination for the holidays, she lied on her application and said she owns Lovely Farms with her boyfriend, only there is no boyfriend. Enter best friend Luca Peters. Oh, I really like the name Luca. He just stopped by for some hot chocolate and somehow got a farm and serious girlfriend in the process. But fake dating his best friend might be the best Christmas present he's ever received. Aw, I think that one's gonna be super cute. I am excited for that one. That's a very light and easy Christmassy read. Going on to the physical books that I want to read in December, as there are only two. I want to read In the Holidays by Christina Lauren. I have heard a lot of things about this book. I almost read this book last year, but I did not. So I got it this year, and this will be in a vlog. It's a little sneak peek for another Vlogmas video, so stay tuned for that one. But I will be reading this in December. This one is about, it's the most wonderful time of the year, but not for Maylin Jones. She's living with her parents, hates her going to her job, and has just made a romantic error of epic proportions. But perhaps worst of all, this is the last Christmas May will be at her favorite place in the world. The snowy Utah cabin where she and her family have spent holidays every year since she was born, along with two other beloved families. Mentally melting down as she drives away from the cabin for the final time, May throws out what she thinks is a simple plea to the universe. Please, show me what will make me happy. The next thing she knows, tires screech and metal collides, everything goes black. But when May gasps awake, she's on an airplane bound for Utah, where she begins the same holiday all over again. With one hilarious disaster after another sending her back to the plane, May must figure out how to break free of the strange time loop and finally get her true love under the mistletoe. This one's gonna be cute. I know this one's gonna be cute, so I'm really excited for that one. That's just another cute holiday easy read. And finally, for the month of December, one that I really want to get to that I did not get to in the month of November was A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This one continues the story of Evangeline Fox and Jax. So Evangeline Fox ventured to the magnificent north in search for her happy ending, and it seems as if she finally has it. She's married to a handsome prince and lives in a legendary castle. But Evangeline has no idea of the devastating price she's paid for this fairy tale. She doesn't know what she has lost, and her husband is determined to make sure she never finds out. But first he must kill Jax, the Prince of Hearts. Blood will be shed, hearts will be stolen, and true love will be put to the test in A Curse for True Love, the breathtaking conclusion to the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I can't believe it's coming over! But I am so excited to read this. I really have to get to this month. This is going to be high up on my priority list. I will probably read in an order, right? I'm going to finish the Windy City series books. I'm going to finish Caught Up. Then I think I'm going to read In the Holidays. Then I'm going to start A Curse for True Love. And depending on the timeline of how fast I am reading, I will read Love Light Farms along with this so that I finish it during the month of December so that I do not hold up our book club read video. We've come to the end of the video. Those are all of the books that I read in November and all of the books that I really want to get to in the month of December. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next Vlogmas video. Bye!